Okay. Cool. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you are into. Thank you very much for joining. And it's really great audience that I'm seeing. So to start with, I really time, but very quickly, I would like to know how many of you are from maybe project management. Just give me maybe shout or just thumbs up. I really want to see how I'm stopping my yeah. So if you can maybe give me thumbs up if you are from project management. Okay, looks like nobody. Okay, Steve. Okay, yeah, Harris. Thank you. I think we have few. Okay, and how about product management?
So thank you, Raji. So thank you for your time. So you mean that the product management in development, right?
I mean, what your profile, right? So project management or product management, or then I would like to ask engineering as well.
Yeah, sure. So at my last company, so I worked as a team leader and also at the time I mainly handling our the core team, which involve the 4 developers. Yeah.
Okay.
So at the time we used to 2 weeks sprints and also the regarding the product management, we use Jira boards. Yeah. And we also
Okay.
we each so in terms of the the business requirements. Yeah. So we firstly so we separated the several tickets and determines each ticket of the sessions. Yeah. So which is the what I mean the session means that the higher level and the medium and low level. Yeah. And based on that kind of the sessions, we decided we aligned the tickets each for each developers. And
That's
we and every day we had daily stand-up meeting to discuss about the updated work for each developers. Yeah. And
yeah.
at the time we had 2 week sprints and at the end of the first week,
So it
we
was
had the refinement
in
meeting.
short, like it was kind of mixed profile, right?
Yeah, come again?
It was kind of mixed profile, like I mean, project plus product management. I was struggling to hear you in between. Your voice was breaking. So I wanted to know what's your profile, if you can tell me in short.
Yeah, so shortly, so let me introduce myself briefly. So at my last company, SIPS, I
Sure.
worked as the team leader, and also at the time I handles both team leader and also product management manager. Yeah, so the several kind of the products, so, and we
Well, that's great. Um,
analyze the
yeah.
business requirements and also the tickets to team leader. So that's the responsibility of the product manager. And at the time, we are core team and we have we don't have the product manager special role. So at the time, I handles both product manager and team leader. Hello.
To hear you, Steve, but
Yeah. Hello.
and we
Can
can
you?
talk maybe offline. I can.
Yeah. Hello. Are you okay?
Let's move further.
Yeah. Hello. Are you okay?
Got to know the
Yeah.
profiles are kind of mixed.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so from the registrants, what I got to know is like the list of registrants that engineering people, developers, tech leads, etc. So I would be focusing on these three roles today while going through with this presentation. So as you all know that this is majorly around SDLC. This is not.
Yeah, SDLC. Yeah, I know about it.
This is secure development life cycle.
Yeah.
So yeah. So when I say that secure, what
the object of this meeting, this part was delivered on the specific process yourself.
Let me quickly tell. So this is nothing, but everybody would be knowing that what is software development lifecycle. This is the kind of process how we actually develop the software, right? However, nowadays security is pretty important. So security piece of it into development lifecycle, the complete development lifecycle, software development lifecycle, so that every phase throughout the lifecycle considers security as a vital part of it. I have a quick question, and to be very honest, I really want to be make it really interactive instead of one side, right? So I would love to see people engaging. So very quick question. So have anybody faced this kind of situation where security issue actually hindered your delivery or maybe your launch towards the end of your maybe deadline? Anybody faced this kind of situation? Do you okay, so let me ask yeah, if so
can I go on?
Yeah, please. So again, I'm not able to see the call screen. I'm on the full screen.
Okay. So actually I was affected by security, not at the end of the deployment, but midway during the development process, as I was using Google Cloud. I think one of the Bitcoin miners actually hijacked my server. I was using my server for mining of Bitcoin. Who had to suspend my account. That's the aspect. So it was very difficult for me to find out what the issue was. It had to take me through studying a little bit of Linux to be able to use HTOP and NetStat to be able to fish out the process that was running. So I had to stop it and look for other binaries that were in my server. So that was my own experience.
What's the size of maybe your company where you were using?
Actually, it was a contract. So it was just a team of about five developers.
Okay, so maybe shall we consider that small scaled, like small sized company?
Yes.
Yeah. So that really, actually, I'm glad that you mentioned, because most of the people think that we are pretty small in business. So why would a hacker or a person like that would try to hit us, right? It's just imagine if there is some big shot where maybe security is really tight, and you will need to spend really hard time to crack that security levels. On the other side, you have maybe small or mid-sized companies where you have not so good secure platforms that you can maybe very easily crack, right? So here you have the quantity, because there are a lot of companies like that. And if I talk about OS top 10, so more than 97% of web application and mobile applications or softwares has vulnerabilities at this time, right? So, like even if we are not tracking the vulnerabilities in our application, hackers are doing so for us. So if we don't know that, so they definitely know it and they will exploit it, right? So it's really important to understand this need of secure development lifecycle, and I'll be calling this as SDLC later on. So whenever I'm saying SDLC, it's secure software development lifecycle. So thank you very much for sharing the example. So yeah, for here, so if we do this thing like integrating the security or doing secure development lifecycle, so for these three personas we talked about, so for our project managers, this integration means fewer last minute surprises and more predictable timelines. When I say fewer, because nobody's perfect, right? So there would be some things that would be maybe skipped or slipped from the process. Nobody's perfect, but still we can reduce that number. And for our product teams, we would be able to ensure we are building the features that our users can trust, right? And for developers, of course, writing the secure code and not just the functionality, but really secure platform and code. So I think we are good on why do we need the security throughout this development life cycle, right? So going forward, I'll be just going major step by step, like major phases of development. I won't get into the details of everything right now because this is really vast topic when we talk about security. And so today I'm just going to talk about really high level of everything. But yeah, so going forward, if we get good feedback and then suggestions for further detailing on a specific topic further, so I'll do that. But today it will be pretty high level, but make sure that if you want to ask something, if you want to discuss something, feel free to do that. So first of all, planning, right? So in the planning phase, of course, we set the fundamentals of the entire project. For our project managers here, they define the scope of the project, resources, timelines, deadlines, etc. For our product team, so they actually, this is the phase where they actually outline the features and functionalities that will drive the value for the business. And for the developers, of course, they are, I mean, the technical requirements are starting taking into shape, and the requirements would get clearer in this phase of planning. There would be multiple iterations, but yeah, things would be clearer with time. So incorporating security at this stage means conducting the risk assessment, right? You have to conduct the risk assessment that according to your project, what risks can be there from product standpoint of from technical standpoint, right? So incorporating security in this stage, so defining your security requirements along with this everything else, right? So as I said, so in this stage usually we do scoping, timelining, feature selections, but security should also be part of it. And this approach just not protect, doesn't just protect us. So it actually aligns the teams around the common goal, right? Delivering this secure product on time and within budget. When I say on time and within budget, this one is really important phase, planning, right? Otherwise, if you do not plan for security later on, as you so as we heard the example from the GCP thing, right? So at later stages, your timeline will be slipped, or your budget will may go over budget, right? So yeah, so that's a really important thing to be considered here in the planning itself. Defining your policies is also very important, because everything is not part of everything. When we say every solution doesn't fit for every problem, right? So here as well, every threat modeling. So threat modeling is one of the ways to your security assurance. So your threat modeling will be specific to your product, your functionalities, right? So any questions on planning so far? Great. So for design stage, right? So what is design? So design is where we create the blueprint of our products and projects. And our technical teams will start doing architectural decisions. For our project managers, it will be about ensuring the design alignments with the user's needs and the business goals. This is the basic thing that we used to do in design. Now, for maybe for project managers, quick question. How do you balance security? And for everyone, actually, for technical teams as well, how do you balance the security with the feature development during maybe design? So anybody who actually takes care of security, and I would love to know how they balance it. Okay. Yeah. Anybody?
So I was curious about this question. So can you repeat this question?
Yeah, I was just asking if you do the security, you consider security during your design phase, then how do you balance your security stuff along with the functionality delivery and timeline? Because sometimes maybe C-suite, right, and from business people, and they really want to have the functionality and push it to the market. However, you understand that security is pretty important. So how do you balance these things, functionality with the security?
So balancing security and the functionality and delivery timelines in software development requires strategic planning and collaboration. So so there are a couple of the effective strategies to achieve this balance. So in my opinion, to integrate security practices earlier in software development lifecycle. So this means the considering security during the planning and design phases rather than as on the afterthoughts.
Right.
And also,
that's absolutely.
by the critical security requirements based on the application's context and the potential threats. And also the MVP in terms of the MVP approach. So we must focus on the development or developing a minimum viable products. That includes the essential functionalities and security features. So additional features can be added in later iterations. So what I mean is that the importance of the integrating security in the software development life cycle. So firstly, we must focus on the security rather than the functionality and delivery timeline. At least in my opinion.
Definitely that really I really love to hear that. And so just to give it a structure, definitely you have talked a lot about the design stage, where we should consider the security. I would just give it a quick shape. So definitely incorporating the security at this stage where we are designing. So threat modeling is very important, right? So you need to understand how to model your threat. How would you find the issues? How would you assess the risks, how would you fix them, right? And what architectures you are using for, we call it as secure development, secure architecture patterns, right? So which patterns, which architecture you are using, and being proactive, helping, being proactive would help you prevent costly designs, or I would say redesigns or reworks later, right? So if you consider things at the design level itself, so that would be pretty helpful. And for an instance, so there was one e-commerce project. So we used to do, for every project you have to do threat modeling. I'm just taking an example here. So for one of the e-commerce projects, so we used to do threat modeling to anticipate and mitigate risks. For example, injection, for example, broken access control, etc. Right, and that actually reduces the potential of security breaches. And so first of all, you need to visualize the security. How would you, what kind of security issues you have risk to, right? And then how would you do these checks and matches? So that complete workflow you create, you can create your flow charts, you can create your processes by identifying and prioritizing the potential risks and security issues. How would you do your patching for your maybe third-party dependencies, right? So yeah, so overall here you are more of like whatever you planned for security, now you are actually started doing the designing for that, and how would you implement it later on. Okay, so ready for some fun? So much of talking, so let's try something, right? So I have a this is the application which is basically created for educational purposes, right? And this is nothing just OS Juice Shop. It is one of the examples that I'm showing you for e-commerce platform. There are intentional security issues in this application. As I said, this is for educational purpose. Let's try some common things to hit. Let me log in first. I have created my login. So everybody following right now? So far, so good? Okay, I assume that yes. Okay, so we have the product, we have account. Okay, and then I just delete this. Okay, let's try to add something, something very costly. Yeah, this one, 9999. So it says it has added. Is the text fine, or should I need to zoom in?
Actually, you can see it clearly. Yeah.
Sure, great. Okay, so I just added this item in my bucket, and here is my bucket. So they are calling it as basket. So it costs 9999, right? So what we can do is definitely it's pretty costly, right? Almost $10,000. So I really want to maybe change something. So what if we can check? Most probably what happens is, session store, right? So this is basically example of broken access control. What I'm seeing here is it says item total 9999, right? And I'm assuming, I suspect that if I make this change, this will reflect. And I will be able to buy this for $9.99, like $9.99, right? I can check. I can't guarantee this, but let me check, right? Because what happens is this basically, this thing, if we would be able to do this, this will actually give us unwanted access, right? So the platform doesn't want to do this, right? But we can do that. Let's try that. Okay, so this is not changed yet because this might not be an React or something. So let me see. Even before that, I'm just refreshing this, right? So before that, I would like to check something like this. Okay, this doesn't. So basically, I can give you one of the examples. There is a really a international bank which actually sends you one-time password for making the transaction. But when you go on their page and they'll show you the phone number, like 99XXXX something, that will be sending you OTP on this number, right? However, they have one of the hidden fields in their web page where you actually can update the value of that hidden field to change the phone number. Like you can add any phone number, mobile number, and they are actually using that hidden field value to send the OTP. So you can understand. I mean, do you realize how unsecure it is and how scary it is? I mean, and phone number, like OTPs are two-factor authentication. And if a hacker just somehow got your credentials, he is able to make the transactions. And your second factor is just to show like you have 2FA. However, you can actually breach that very easily. So they don't have it right now. It was in 2018. I wrote an email, and they are international bank. So I wrote an email to them that this is something really scary. I had an account with them, so they have fixed it. But this is what I was trying to check, if I can make this change, right? So it looks like this is just a normal text. So not really. So let's go back to the previous plan. Let's change this thing and see if something changes. Let me go back to some, because this is item number in the, let me get back. Okay, it's reset. Okay. So what if we just try to check out? I made it 9.99. And if I check out, let's see what happens. Okay. Let me just say unknown for everything. It's not validating anything. So, okay. Cool. So, bingo. So can you see this button? It says pay 9.99. And this is one of the broken access, right? So it now if I go forward and just pay this, right, 9.99, I will be able to buy a product worth 10,000. Right. So this is one of the examples for broken access control. And let me tell you, broken access control is at the top of OS top 10. This is the most common vulnerability, which covers more than 93 or 94% of websites and web applications, mobile applications throughout the internet. And this really hurts the businesses. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this one. I'm just wondering if we can try something else as well, because now we have this session store, and I know like they are using it, this session store. Um, I'm just wondering what this bid key is. So this is not an auction platform or something where bid will make contact. So I believe this is BID. B is basket. So I believe this is basket ID. It says 33. So what I'm trying to do here is now I'm going to change my basket ID. I'm assuming this is basket ID. Let's see what happens. But if it is basket ID, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to access some other user's basket, because mine is 33. I just tried to change it to 31, and let's see what happens. Let me go back to, okay, there is nothing, but there is nothing in this basket. But if you noticed, we had one product here. So if I just say 33, I think we should be able to see that product, because yes, right? So yeah, my doubt was right. So this is basically basket ID. Let's quickly try a couple of other IDs if we can get access to anything and anybody else basket. Okay. I mean, this is more of like hit and trial now, brute force. That's one of the techniques of hacking. So let's see if anything works. Otherwise, at least we know that this is basically the basket ID, and we would be, yeah, cool, lucky we. So we are able to access this basket ID 32, right? So here we are able to access that, and we can actually check out it, right? So you might be thinking that, okay, so even if we buy something from somebody else's basket, what would be the big deal? It is really a big deal, because this is your data, right? Every purchase is not really public purchase, right? Purchases are sometimes very private, and you can access the data from others database, others accounts. And this is just one example that you are able to access the basket. Otherwise, you can access the data itself, and data is equal to money, right? So I hope this makes sense, right? So let's get back to the presentation again. So yeah, we were just talking about designs. You can see, like, if we skip anything in design, it actually hampers, because then next phases will not consider that probably, and that would be really problematic, like these kind of vulnerabilities. So development phase. So yeah, definitely as you move to development, so developers will be coding, turning the design into the reality, and so again, security must be at the top here, right? So nothing special here, but you just need to make sure that you're not inducing any vulnerabilities. For example, we talked about injection, right? So there is one type of injection which is called SQL injection. So you should sanitize your inputs, whatever coming from data. It should not be directly going to your database, whatever coming from the forms, or like web forms or mobile forms. So whatever is, you can never trust user, right? So I'm sorry. So whatever coming in, you have to sanitize that input before storing it, or before maybe making any dependent queries into your database, right? So that's pretty important. So secure coding standards implementation is pretty important, and again, that goes to design and planning, right? So you have to set those processes beforehand, before reaching to development, right? And then you have a lot of static code analysis that you can do. There are a lot of tools which will actually give you overall quality of your code, complexity levels, probable vulnerabilities, right? So you just need to integrate those into your code, and it'll just check your static code and send you the reports or show you the reports, and that's pretty cool, time saving, right? And also I'll talk more about in the maintenance, but here as well, you can start integrating the like you can generate the reports. These tools actually show you and send you the reports of new vulnerabilities that gets unknown to the community, so you can consider them if that actually concerns you according to your implementations, your dependencies. Just fix it, right? So GitHub also shows you those vulnerability issues. If it says that you are using some dependency which has known issues, known risks, or security issues, right? So that's pretty important to consider them instead of just passing just as some other reports. And then, yeah, code review for security. So manual code reviews are also important to understand the security issues. And when we review the code, it's not just to give like thumbs up or check mark, green check. It should be considered. So security, we have been talking a lot about security. How would somebody know, like if there are multiple people, who would consider what? So there is a checklist, right, that we can create. So that checklist, according to, and it is in general as well, like what all things you have to take care while doing the code reviews. So for this, we need to add our security checks as well in those code reviews, right? And static analysis tools can be integrated in your CI, etc., so that it will give you a preliminary reports, right? So cool. So I think next we would go into testing, right? I'll try to just expedite it, right? And again, if you have any question, just ask. So in testing and QA, of course, we need to do validations. We need to do automation, because long time manual security testing will not help you a lot, because it will be a time-consuming stuff. So automating as much as you can would be really best. You in your automation, your static application security testing and dynamic application security testing can be covered, both of them. And then, of course, penetration testing is important to do the by doing the various types of attacks that may happen on your application. So that's the penetration testing. And then, of course, vulnerability scanning you have to do, that I was talking about, that you even after testing or delivery, you have to keep track of your dependencies, the new vulnerabilities that are coming in the market, like known vulnerabilities. Just a second. Sorry. So those things needs to be taken care of in testing as well. Yeah. Okay. So again, so I would like to go back to the application, right? And I would like to do some more fun here. So right now we were able to update our the prices. We were able to buy things almost for free. We were able to access and buy things from somebody else's basket. Now I'm becoming more greedy. I want to have access to somebody else's account, right? So that's something I want now. So let's try, because we were talking about the injection as well. So let's try the injection. So when I was talking about the query, right? So when we do not sanitize inputs from the user, that actually creates a problem. So what I am assuming here is if there is a SQL injection for this part of the code in this application. So I'm assuming I'm just writing this in the address bar, if you're able to see that, right? So maybe something like this: select star from users where maybe email is equal to something this, and password is equal to this, right? So in this, I'm assuming something like whatever email coming from the user, right? And similarly here, whatever password from the customer. So now if something like this is being written, because I don't know the email, I don't know the password of the other users, but if I just say maybe close the quote here, I hope you guys are able to follow. Thumbs up. Cool. So if I just add a quote here that I'll be doing from here, right? So this should actually close this email thing. And let me, okay, I have to put something here. Object. So, okay. So on console, it says 500, is it? Okay, yeah. Okay. So this is really naive, but you can see in error, because this is 500, right? So it was actually unhandled error. It should have been like maybe 404 or something like that. Instead of that, it is 500, and they are actually just spitting out the message from the server directly. It says SQLite error. Now from here, I know that they are using SQLite, and if there are any vulnerabilities in SQLite, I can actually exploit that. But anyways, so it says syntax error, and they are actually, yeah, the complete backtrace. So this is the SQL that they are saying. This is hash. Okay, so they are using some hashing function, which is actually hashing this password. So because I know the password now, I can actually backtrace somehow. Okay, there are rainbow tables that are usually being used in hacking community for this hashing and everything. So yeah, it says deleted at null. Okay, so I can see that it's saying now it's saying actually three quotes, right? So I need to do something else. Maybe I can see or true. So that will actually make it, yeah. So let's try that again. Okay, there is some error again. Or true. Okay, so this one more quote is, let's do something like this, because we can actually we use double dash in SQL for commenting, right? So if we do this, what will happen is this thing will become like this, right? And this will be ineffective because I have commented it. So this is the effective query that will be made, right? It says where email is equal to blank or true. So true is always true. So this should return me first record. Okay, cool. So we are able to log in, and let's see who he is, because, oh wow. So this is the first user, right? And this is actually, okay, let me do that again. Let me log in again. Now we are able to log in, right? So you can see that we did this thing and something like this. Okay, so now we have the user admin, right? We have the admin access, and that's pretty scary here. And okay, so that the basket that we were able to access. So that was also from admin. Anyways, so now the thing is, I'm not able to see any. Okay, so we are able to see the history of these orders, right? And I want to see more data, but that's not here. It looks like it's not the admin portal, admin panel. I mean, I'm admin now, but what I can do is I want to find what kind of technology this is being built with, right? Because what happens is when you actually know the technology that is this application being developed in, you would be able to actually make some guesses that what plugins would it might be using and what are the default URLs for that, right? So here, because we are using Angular, right? So Angular and then HTML5, you can see these icons, right? Otherwise, you can actually find that from page source as well. So because in Angular, by default, if you use admin panel, it will be like maybe admin, or that's the very normal URLs, right? Admin, administer, administration, right? So this one is, okay, not admin. So administration. Okay. So yeah. So because we knew that what technologies this application is using, we were able to make the guesses, right? And you can see these customer feedbacks, the registered of users. You can see the details. Now you have the access to whole data. You can sell it. So don't do that. So now because this one was 5-star, right? I don't like. I really want to hamper their reputation. Let me try to delete this. Yeah, I'm able to delete it, right? I'm an admin now, right? So this is kind of this is again. So this whole example where we were able to log in. So that was the SQL injection, but this access is broken access control again, right? So just considering the time, I'll go back quickly and let me know if you have any questions on this. Okay, so I'll quickly go to the deployment phase. In deployment, nowadays we recommend infrastructure as code with security checks, because that actually being version controlled, you know that which versions has which vulnerabilities or may have which vulnerabilities, and you can actually keep track of it, right? So definitely you need your regular audits, because this thing is, deployment is something where everybody starts being eager to see the results, right? It's like when you go to the restaurant, you feel that maybe you're not so hungry, and once you order, you are feeling like very much of hunger, and you're really being going crazy to have your food. But your cook cannot just see, okay, my customer is really hungry, so just maybe compromise on quality. He cannot do that, or she cannot do that, right? So similarly, we should not be very excited on this phase. Let's stick with the plan. Do your all configuration management, your security audits, and continuous monitoring as well, right? So that it is not a problematic for the customer. You really don't want to ruin the experience of your customer or ruin the data security, right? So at the end, I would jump on maintenance phase. Very important, because most of the times, once we have delivered the product or project, we are not keeping track what's going on with that, because sometimes or many times what happens, the dependencies which you are using have released maybe patches, right? Either if you're using open source or paid versions of anything. So there are security patches which comes in, And if you're not monitoring, you don't have your security management or patch management, you would not be able to consider those patches, and you will not be able to implement that, which will actually give hackers open doors. As I said, if we are not tracking, be assured the hackers are tracking this thing, right? Which dependency has what kind of vulnerabilities, how to exploit that, and which applications are using these technologies and these softwares, right? So there are a lot of tools by which, for example, built with, you can know that what kind of technologies or what technology specifically this particular application is using, right? So it's pretty easy to know that what you are using. So if you do not patching your security risks or issues, then of course developer the external hackers knows it, right? External developers knows it. So it actually make your application really highly prone to the hacking or data loss, right? Or exploiting the users, right? So continuous monitoring and improvement, that is very important. Okay, so because I was talking about this maintenance phase, so before winding up, I would quickly like to talk about Equifax breach that was happened in 2011. So this was one of the most significant and damaging data breaches in the history. 150 million people were affected, out of which 147 million people were from America only. Right, and this in this breach, there was really personal data was exposed and compromised, like SSN, SIN, driving license, addresses, and a lot of other financial details. Equifax is basically a financial institute for ratings, so they had all the data from financial data from their users. And the problem was, so what was the reason of this breach? So they were using Apache struts, and Apache struts was had a known vulnerability. So that known vulnerability was and patch was already released for that. However, Equifax did not apply that patch in time, right? So as I said, what you're using, everybody knows, right? Every hacker or any techie person can just find out what technologies you're using. And the list of vulnerabilities gets released every day, right? So now you can map, okay, so this particular application may have this vulnerability. And you know that how to exploit that vulnerability. If you, in this case, Equifax, did not fix this vulnerability or apply that patch, the security patch, and that was the reason they actually this really huge damage happened to them, right? And as you can see that they needed so they had to pay 650 million in this largest ever data breach, right? So they had to compensate their customers, they had to pay fine to local authorities, to national authorities, and international authorities as well. So that was the level of breach that happened just because they were not, they knew there is a new security patch, but they did not apply that in time. So as I said, even if you have released everything, the monitoring thing is really important, monitoring and implementing, right? So yeah, just to quickly wind up, so this is a quote from Hoffman, Andrew Hoffman, the author of Web Application Security. What he says is, good security starts with good design that considers the distributed nature of your application. And it's really important to stress that security is not a singular event. Security is not just for testing. It is not just for development, but rather this is a process that must be folded into entire software development lifecycle, right? So this is the crux of whole presentation as well, right? So yeah, so far, any questions? Okay, so cool. So that was me, and thank you very much for all the patience and attention. You guys are really wonderful. I would love to connect over LinkedIn or Twitter, right? And you can send me the feedback. You can send me the session, further session requests, or any kind of topics that you would like to know, or if you would like to get into more details of any of these topics or subtopics, I would love to know. And now, yeah, the stage is open for the questions.
Hey, Raj. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kareem. I'm currently a DevOps engineer at Gears Systems. So I'm currently, I've started working on a multitude of projects where I've seen lack of security importance. Like there's no security in either development or in the deployment processes. How would you suggest introducing or like providing project managers and even delivery managers and signifying the importance of the security? How would you introduce that?
Sure. That's a really great question. And I'm really happy to know that you, you are really concerned about the security thing. Because before answering your question, because this reminded me, yesterday I was in one of the seminars, and after the talk, I was talking about I was talking with one of the person. He was a staff engineer from really big public company. So they have like being publicly traded. When I say public, it's not government company, but public company, really big B2B. And I'm sure everybody would know them if I name them, but I won't. So I asked them, okay, how do you manage the security? So they said, we don't. It was the staff engineer. And I asked what that means. So he said, that's not our responsibility. Our team doesn't take care of security. So I said, okay, so do you have some specific team? They said, I don't know. So the thing is, even, when you are developing, as I gave example of that injection or broken access control, there are a lot of other vulnerabilities. When you are coding, when you are developing your product, right? So that's where you have to make sure that you are not adding any vulnerability or any scope of vulnerabilities, right? Otherwise, there is no third team which who will come and do anything, because you have maybe introduced SQL injection, right? So you don't have any process for maybe security reviews, you don't have it audits or anything. So you are definitely going to just expose everything, right? So it's pretty good that you are thinking about it. And just to answer your question, first of all, you need to understand what kind of risks that you are on, right? When I say you, your product, of course. So what kind of risks that can happen over there? Of course, these OS top 10 that you need to consider, but because you also need to convince your management or your C-suite, right? So you have to have some concrete things, some data. Data will not lie, right? So you need to create some POCs. You need to find out some, because you said that there is no security on deployment, there is no security in development. So you have to do some things that you can show, okay, so current application has these kind of vulnerabilities, and there are a lot of scanners available online, right, that you can use to show the vulnerabilities. And once you'll know that what kind of vulnerability risks are there with your application, you can actually try to because you are insider, right? You know that what can go wrong, and what kind of how, because when we were doing this demo, right? So this is the external application. You have to hit and file and all. But for your application, okay, and you can show, you can create POCs, you can create a quick demo. I would say really, really isolated demo because security is, again, I mean, that should not involve any third party or anything, because you just want to show that, okay, so our application has vulnerabilities and this can be exploited like this. So we should consider the security planning and implementation, right? So that's the one of the ways that I would suggest to show it. Just don't talk, like don't just talk, right? Try to demo it, right? Demonstration would be really impactful. So what do you think? Will that help you?
I think, yeah, that would really grab their attention, especially when if the security vulnerability will affect the business, especially when we deploy to certain clients, they have their own cybersecurity team where they would make some kind of penetration testings and find vulnerabilities, etc. And we go back into development, which increases the development cycle even more.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think you're right. I think I need to like make some POCs on my own. But would you have any resources where I could like deal with that? I make POCs on my own, how to like make more SQL injections, etc.
Yeah, first of all, I mean, if you're not very familiar with these kind of vulnerabilities and these kind of attacks, so I would suggest you OWASP top 10, right? Just to understand at least top 10 vulnerabilities in the world, and start with that. So if you start with that, because as I said, so even the number 3, which was the SQL injection, right? So that's on number 3. But almost 93% of applications over the internet have this issue. And similarly, broken access control is number 1. So just go. Yeah, I would most probably they would be sharing this PPT. So I have the references and resources that you can use.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Any other question? Okay, I think we are good then. Let me just stop sharing.
I think, Raj, we have 2 questions in the chat.
Okay, sorry, I didn't see that.
No problem.
Oh, I was breaking. I'm sorry for that. I didn't see this. Can you share this slide, PPT? Okay. Can you recommend a book to talk about it? Which talk about it? Yeah, so one of the books that I quoted here as well was from Andrew Hoffman, Web Application Security. That's one of the good ones to start for specifically web application. Cool. I'll share that. I'll need to make a public link for this PPT, and I'll share that to Amira, and she can share, or maybe I can share that on my LinkedIn post as well. So if you can, yeah, you can actually join me on LinkedIn, so that you get that link. I'll make the link public and we'll post it on LinkedIn. Any other questions? Okay, I think then we are good, Amira. So thank you very much for everybody who been there, stayed there. I hope it helped. And again, I would love to hear the feedback. And if you want to have
Thank you so
maybe
much.
more sessions around it, so would love to do that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Raj. Thank you, everyone, for being part of today's session, and hope to see you at our future sessions. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you again, Raj. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.